Welcome back to Christian Content Connection, where we connect with believers, see what they're doing in kingdom building, and see how we can help you improve with anything that you're looking to do. Today, I have a good friend of mine, Miss Tedria Martin. She's a financial coach. She does a lot, so I'm going to let her introduce herself to you guys. Welcome.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. My name is Tedria Martin. I am a 20-year Army veteran. I like to throw it out there because I'm retired now, but I'm still doing the same kind of stuff I was doing when I was, and I'm just excited about tonight.
Awesome. And so I like to just jump right into it. So I know your main business is around financial coaching. Can you kind of introduce the people to that aspect of you?
Yes. So actually, before I joined the military, I didn't realize I was really into finances until my mom told me. All I did was count my money, and I was always doing math and stuff with money. So as I started going through things financially, and once I got out of it, I said, yeah, I need to help other people with this, because this was stressful, and it birthed this business because I had to help other people because I know how it felt to go through what I went through. So that's really what encouraged me to become a financial coach.
So with that being said, what would you say the most misunderstood thing about managing their finances, or the biggest struggle you see people face?
Well, the biggest struggle I see, they were taught something when they were a kid, even though it may not be good practice, they still continue. They're determined to continue to end that way. And they'll tell me that their habit is hard to break because it has become a habit to them. That's the biggest issue that I saw just over the last couple of years, especially last year and this year. Budgeting is another one, and I know we'll get deeper into that in a minute because that's one of my absolute favorite subjects when it comes to financial literacy. The biggest thing I see is that the emotional attachment that people have to money. They think that money is living. First of all, I want to dispel that myth that it's not. It's a currency, meaning that it's supposed to keep moving, but it was never supposed to be parked, or never supposed to be something that we think it has power. It really doesn't. It's a piece of paper, just like anything else. It's an exchange. It allows you to exchange and buy things. And so you exchange your dollars for the item. And that's the biggest thing I can get people to see. If they can get the emotional attachment away out of it, and you get your emotions out of it, you'll start doing better because you can focus more, and you'll start thinking of it as a, how can I say, merely a life-changing task versus this is my life, and if it's going to affect it like this. No, because you can always change it. It's nothing in stone when it comes to finances, because even if you're at rock bottom, you can always come back up. So it's always growth, and it's always a chance to get it right, even if you messed it up.
So I'll say you made a good point about breaking that emotional attachment, because I think that's with me connecting people with kingdom business. People struggle to say, like, I can't do this task or that task because I don't have the money to do it. But when you break that emotional attachment to it, you realize I have this. I might not have money, but I have this service, I have this network, and that's just as good as money. People don't realize that, which they can, use themselves as currency too, to grow whatever God is doing for them. And you did mention budgeting, and you were my financial coach. You are my financial coach. So and so when I tell you budgeting changed my life, like, you can think you got it right, but it's not until you write it down and plan it penny for penny that you will start to see the effects. You start to see money come out of nowhere. But speak more to that for us.
So the biggest thing I have to get in people's head is, it's not a curse. It's not a punishment. It's not something that people are doing to you. It's actually freedom. So I tell people all the time, start with the budget. You got to know what's coming in so you'll know how to manage what's going out. You can't manage what's going out if you don't know what's coming in. You're doing what's coming in. They'll restrict that you can't have fun. Because I tell people all the time, in their budgeting, make sure you make a fun category. So always add fun, and then I believe in a zero-based budget, there should be nothing left. If there's something, that means you need to make a miscellaneous column and put the miscellaneous in an account or something somewhere, so that you don't have anything left. Because just every dollar should have a name, every dollar should have a purpose. It shouldn't be anything left over if you're doing it right. So it's so much I learned about it, but I found out that even the greatest of the billionaires, they have budgets. They may not call it a budget. They might call it a life plan. They may call it a this and a that, but it's still a budget. And think about big corporation. If they did not budget, could you imagine how they would run their businesses, payroll, everything else if they didn't have a budget? So it's very, very, very important. That's one of my key, even no matter how much coaching I do, no matter if we're coaching on, we could be coaching on stocks, and I'm going to talk about the budget. Involves around the budget, including investing. So I'm so big on that.
I would say that's one thing I really learned from your books and from your teachings. Even that is that if you don't really budget, then you're going to be pulling from those necessities. You want to save, you want to invest, you want to do certain things. But when you're not keeping that budget intact, then you start seeing money go away out of nowhere. And then you try to, okay, well, I don't have money in my account. Let me pull from this stock. Let me pull from this investment. Let me pull from my future saving because I didn't plan. So yeah, that was my thing that she got me on, guys. I'm going to be transparent. You know, she worked me with that budgeting thing. So that budgeting is huge. And so, but besides budgeting, moving forward from budgeting, what's next?
After you budget, and this is probably going to be contrary for a lot of teaching that people have been taught, right? Because we're so used to paying other people first. But even though I listen to Dave Ramsey and I love his teaching, to Robert Kiyosaki, who has gotten me to a different aspect of money. And one of the things he says is, make sure you pay yourself first. What's that? Bills. What it means is you have to get into the habit of paying yourself. Why? Say that if you're not budgeting correctly, if you have your money going here, there, and everywhere, and you look back and you have nothing left, then you have nothing left. But at least if you're paying yourself, then it fall back on. And I love his concept. He and his wife, he was telling this story in a couple of his books. And one of the things that he told his bookkeeper that he told her that I put my money over here and I pay ourselves first, pay the bills and stuff. Okay, so you put the money over here and have money left over that you have to pay. That's when you cut on you put those hustle muscles, right? You get in there, do whatever you need to do to make up that money, make up that difference. Why? Because in the end, at least, even if you listen to the richest man in Babylon, at least put 10 cents aside. Then you put 10% aside for you. You might have to work harder towards that. Once you get there, though, once you start building up money for yourself, you will, hey, I have a surplus over here versus us budgeting out of necessity. We will budget from a surplus. And I have learned that now for myself as I have stocks, I have the other investments. I pay myself first so that I can be able to have extra money. So I look back, let's just say I'm doing my budget. I paid myself, and let's just say I have a surplus of maybe $2,000, right? And then bills come and they start piling up and they start doing things, right? This month, I still have $2,000 over here because I've been paying myself. I've been putting money to the side. How you can do that? It still goes back to look at the money you have left over. Right. Sometimes, I mean, if you really, really look at your budget, you'll find extra money. You'll find that that McDonald's money, that snack, that fun, that you can have for. Like, you don't have to have a $400 fun vacation. You could just, have a lump something. You don't have to go to Ruth Chris every time you go out. You can actually go to Olive Garden. They got coupons. They got all kind of stuff. You can go to Red Lobster. You can go to other different places to eat out and stuff and not have to spend all that money on that. But you got to get into the habit of paying. If you realize that you don't have any money left over every month, that means you have to find a way to make more money. I tell people all the time, mates, and some people say, I don't know how to do anything. Let me tell you about a situation, right? They say, well, I don't have the money to do this and that. I think about this one guy, and I don't even know his name. All I know is he's a public speaker, and I've seen him a couple of times. He has no legs, y'all. I'm going to say this again. He has no arms, and he has no legs, but he makes money by public speaking. So tell you can't do anything, can't make any money. I mean, he made a career talking about his disability and talk about things that happened to him. You see what I mean? Right. There is something that have children. I tell single parents this all the time. If you have children, you are if they're alive and you haven't end up in the hospital, well, you go anyway, especially if you got boys. But if they're alive, they're well, they're doing very good. You can at least listen. Mothers always need somebody to watch their kids. So there is no such thing as I can't do anything because you can babysit. Let me tell y'all something. When I wanted to actually increase and I realized my budget was kind of tight and I wanted to pay myself more money, I started doggy sitting. And my dad was laughing at me. He's like, why are these people doggy sitting? He was like, you're doing what? I said, I'm doggy sitting. I take care of dogs, so I doggy sit. And so I started making money off of that. Like I'm telling you, there are so many things that you can do. You can clean houses. You can make that extra money just so you can add it to the money you already have and then make that money work for you. Because the biggest key is Your money should be working very hard for you, but you shouldn't be working for your money.
It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright.